My childhood was a very happy one. I had very good upbringing. However, there were situations that I could see and happening in my life, in my family, between my mother and my father. My father was unfaithful and he had a lover and he had it for a long time. And he was always the same person, and so we had a lot of arguments in the house. Growing up in the family environment, seeing my mom and my dad having this sort of situation and issues, continual arguments, brought into my life certain issues, even though the moment I did not understand. However, these issues later on in life, they show up. Becoming an adult, I started to have relationships. So since I was in my teenage time, and at that time, everything seemed to be normal. Eventually, I started to develop some sort of insecurities within the relationship. Not only that, I thought that I was a faithful person because I loved the person I was with. However, I could see that I had tendencies to cheat. I couldn't keep a relationship, a stable relationship, and without any reason I was breaking up from one woman to another. We just start a relationship and I would just go and look for someone else. My lowest point was when I moved to London. Previously, I was actually in the United States for a short period. I went to Italy again, and then I decided to actually stay in London. In London, I started to really experience a lot of relationships. Promiscuity, I was very flirtatious, and I saw a big opportunity to be free, far from everyone. I knew it, but all of this did not give me any joy. So I saw myself at this point very low. I started to be anxious. And I remember I found myself a couple of times crying when I was in my place. I started to try things that previously I thought I was never going to try. So I tried a couple of times cocaine, and this brought a lot of sadness inside of me. I was very lonely, even though I was very bubbly with people. But when I was on my own, I could see how lonely I was. I couldn't think why this is happening, because I was working, I was having fun. I was not lacking money, so I could travel, I could go anywhere I wanted, but deep down I was really sad. So at that point, I did not believe in relationships anymore. In lasting relationships. I did not believe in marriage. In fact, I would start a relationship and I would just to make clear, I would tell them, look, I might even love you, but I will not marry you. I remember that I was down and I had a friend who was a party friend. One day I invited him for dinner and he brought with him another friend. However, this friend of his was a little bit reserved and, finished everything. Out of the blue, at one point, I received a phone call from this friend of a friend. And he invited me to come to the Universal Church. And I wanted to come. I was curious to see what was this about. And it was actually an event, a specific event. The message was very strong. It was the power of enough. And I had enough at that moment. From that time on, I started to come often to church. I saw the changes straight away. The first week, I would wake up and I was much happier. I had new expectations, which is something that it was not there anymore in my life. So there was this energy inside, and it was actually growing from time to time. Every time I would come to church, I would come with that thirst to know about God. My faith was growing, and my relationship with God was flourishing, and everything changed around me. The way I could see life was completely different. Today, I've been married already for 10 years with a woman of God. And the way I see relationship has completely changed. I used to see women as an object. Now I see my wife, she's my companion, she's my friend. We have fun together, we come to evangelize. And not only my relationship, the way I see life in general, the way I see people, the way I wake up in the morning. God for me is the first thing. I pray first thing in the morning, and I cannot do this. If I don't pray in the morning, my day is not the same. Because of this, I have this urge inside to share my experience, to share what I've received with other people. Also, I have this peace inside of me, which I believe is the greatest thing that I received, and is the presence of God.